Hello, everyone. Hi, hello. Welcome to another session of our podcast series, Product Perspective Talks. I'm your host, Sujeet Pathak. I'm a product manager at Amoeboids Technologies. Amoeboids is a Atlassian Platinum Marketplace partner. And today we have with us Melek Jebnoun. She is a co-founder and CPO at Vectors. Vectors is also like Amoeboids Atlassian Marketplace partner, and they have a bunch of Atlassian add-ons live in the Atlassian Marketplace, mostly on Confluence and Jira space. So, hi Melek, welcome to the session, and we are very happy to have you on this session today. And welcome to the session.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for the invitation. I'm really happy to be part of this podcast too. Thanks.
Okay, so in this session, we are going to deep into the product management in general. And to start with, Melek, why don't you start with telling us how was your journey so far? I can see you have around more than a decade long professional career, and you have traversed through different roles across the organization. So how did you land into product management as such, and how has been your journey so far?
Sure. Yeah, as you said, so it has been a very long journey with different roles. So first, my name is Melek, as you said, and I am part of Vectors as one of the co-founders, and I'm currently leading the product section within Vectors. So I've been starting within the Atlassian world since 2013, I think. So now it's almost 10 years and more.
Right.
And I have been starting as a developer, actually. It has been during my end of year study project. So I have been here from the beginning of the company, which is the mother company called Spectrum Group, which is a Platinum solution partner. And my boss hired me first to develop on a few apps, some ideas of few apps he had on some exchange with some customers. And from that, I have been joining as a developer, an RID developer. I worked then on different apps, mainly on Confluence. And after that, I have been switching in 2017, I think, as a consultant. So I've been working as a Jira consultant with different customers in France, mainly. Many of them are based in France. And then past there 2 years or 3 years, almost 3 years. So my boss gave me the opportunity to manage the activity around the Atlassian apps that we are developing. So mainly the group has been having a kind of solution. As a solution partner, he was selling the services, and he had a small section to develop some IDs and to have some RID IDs for the apps in the marketplace. So I have been leading a group of engineers and developers, QAs, designers, and people who are interacting around the apps. The mission has been growing more and more, and then we needed to restructure all this awesomeness and to get it on a separate company, which is called Vectors. So last year we have been launching a total separate startup. I've been the co-founder with another person, which is called Sofiane. He's currently also the co-founder and the CEO of the company, and based on this, I'm the one who have been working the more with the Atlassian products, either on development or on the new IDs or the RID or on research. And so I have been leading the activity to the product. So this is why I've been asked to be the CPO of the company. This has been more the natural aspect on what I have been doing as activities within this whole journey. So voila.
Great. So, means I can see you started as a developer, then moved into the consultant role, and now into as a CPO into product management. So, what excites you more now? What was it? The development journey was more exciting, or this product management thing is more exciting now?
I maybe I cannot choose I'm not choosing either both either side this one or this one, but still Honestly, the product has been like calling me since the beginning. Like I'm more eager on searching, trying, checking, and organizing the thing, building something from scratch and checking how it can evolve. And so, but still, I think the development background has been helping me a lot, like to
Right.
visualize this, how it can be done. Is it feasible, not feasible? Is it easy? So it gives a bit like it's a help, but I'm more at my ease in the product section, in more in road mapping everything on how to check those interactions, how to get everything work, how to make it land on the right time, and so on. So I'm more, I have to say, I'm more in the product, and I have had the chance like to make like to play all those different roles, and I have been working with like really create mentors and create bosses and managers that gave me the ability like to switch and to find the best way where I am. So being here as a product manager and at the CPU, so it gave me the ability like to be here. Like it has been like they helped me on going on this. So voila. But I'm more on the product side, I have to admit.
Great. So, being product manager sometimes could be challenging. Like you mentioned, you have to coordinate with so many internal stakeholders, like there are development teams or QA teams or customer success teams, and externally you constantly trying to interact with your customers, your users. You are also looking at your competitors. So there are a lot of hats that you have to wear at different occasions. So what is that biggest challenging thing that you feel as a product manager?
Mm, mm, for me, I think one of the hardest thing is to find the right balance between what customer want, what you think is good for your product, and what you want to achieve as crazy ideas. I think this is like, and especially if you are a small company, this is very, very challenging. Like sometimes you develop something, you need to maintain it, and you are like more on a cycle of doing the support and fixing bugs, fixing bugs, and you go there, you cannot like get into a new feature or make or pushing the product or finding the right resources like to do this. And sometimes I think this is one of the harder things, at least for my case. And I think this is one of the reasons that led us to make the company a separate one, to work on separate department, like separate the development. I don't have to play the role of the product manager and also to play the role of the release manager and also of the developer, of the technical manager. So this gave us a lot of hard time, and we felt that we have been like falling on that spiral of just fixing the product, and we have not being here like to make it evolve. And this is why I think this is one of the main like issue on keeping the customer happy with the product, with the current product, but also making the product evolve. So
Yeah, that's really an important insight. In fact, even in our case, we what one of the challenges that we are facing in one of our apps these days is that we are getting a lot of feature requests from our customers. And what happens is most of the times the customers or the user they try to see our app from their own prism, and they try to come up with such ideas which suits to their particular use case. And as a product manager, it's up to you now to take that decision whether you honor that particular request, even if it doesn't align with your overall vision of your product, or
exactly.
you stick to your vision and then say no to that particular customer, which is a very difficult task to handle.
Exactly. Exactly, and honestly, sometimes it's a bit hard. I think, especially with Atlassian and maybe with us, and probably with some other system, because you have a kind of knife that's pointed to you, especially with the review system. Because
Right.
sometimes, if you don't provide that feature to the customer, they will not be happy, and they will review, and they give you a bad review, which will
Correct.
really make your statistics and your visibility and make it very challenging like for your product. So sometimes really you really need to find the right balance between this, or at least to keep a very and high and excellent support system, and to keep it more on a discussion with your customers, to try to make it, to convince them that this is not really with the product like align. We will try to configure it, but still at least don't get the bad review, and to keep the product line like going there. But I totally feel you and understand you. This has been very challenging too. Yeah, really.
Right. And that's again an important point that you made here, that if you have a good customer success or interactions with that customer, even if you are not honoring their request, you should be communicating it with an empathy in mind, so that they don't
Totally.
judge you based on your blunt refusal to accept their request. So that's
Absolutely.
a very important thing.
Absolutely.
So in your journey so far building these Atlassian products, any examples of failures that you had, like any product that you launched with a lot of hopes which didn't work, or any particular product feature for that matter? Sometimes we are really excited about a particular feature, and we are really confident while launching that particular thing that this will really resonate with our users, but somehow your users just don't use it, or don't use it in the way you expected them to.
Absolutely. I think in every product we do have this. We do have this. But the one that come like in my mind, like, and especially that one, I think like with that special example, I felt that we need a bit of product management before like releasing. We have an app called Ideation, and with that app, so we do manage the IDs. So it's in Confluence. It's an open system that's based on Blueprint. So the user came in a space and he want to submit an idea. At least we do not let him start with an empty template. So he creates an idea. It will inject some macros, and then you will get a macro to list the IDs and to work on the idea to make it switch from a statue to another. And so we have been too much excited about the product, I think. And one of the issue, so one of the user, I remember a few years ago, he asked maybe it's good to have a non-linear statue workflow for the idea. So sometimes the idea starts with it's proposed, it's going into study, and then achieved, not achieved, and then it's closed and it goes by. So I've been a bit excited about this. We have been also like maybe influenced by Jira, and we said, why not to implement a graphical workflow builder for the app? So we went into this without maybe studying the impact of this. It has been like maybe influenced by one of the requests, which is what we have been speaking about. So, and the customer was big, so it was a very dedicated use case for him. He see this. Maybe he have like he could be using the app directly on Jira, which will be like better for him. And then we went into a huge cycle of development. We developed a totally graphical workflow designer, like with a non-linear workflow and so on. Like we needed to change all the database models and changing everything and doing a migration from a linear to non-linear and so and so. And then I think like really few and really some users use this feature, and I have been conscious of this. One day I've been doing like a demo to a very big company like in Saudi Arabia. I think they are implementing a system for their future projects, like how to create the new IDs. And I was showing all this. I was very convinced about it. So he told me, no. The ideation is very simple. I want something to be simple. Just create, push, see a statue, done, not done. And then I said, and from that moment, we have been gathering some feedbacks, and we understood that sometimes it's not because one user asks it, and we see it as a very cool feature, that it's necessary, the good orientation that you need to give to your product. Maybe you need to study a bit, to ask more users, to ask your users who are using the most the product. They are not asking for it in the support. So maybe this is not something they want to go in, and to listen more to the market, and especially to the people who are using the products really, and to make it simple. I think this is what we have been learning from this experience. Like one of the examples we have been learning from this experience. Donc voilà.
I can imagine, means I have used those Jira workflow builders, and I can imagine how complex it must be to build something like that.
And adding this to Confluence after, like making it more complex. Yeah. This has been one of the craziest ideas I think we have been going into with inspectors and the lab previously. Yeah.
So my takeaways from this response is basically, whenever you are implementing something new, which is, maybe you are stepping into something unknown, you don't know what outcome would be. There would be two, three strategies that someone can devise. That first one would be like going lean. So you start with something very small version of what the big idea is,
Yeah,
and then you incrementally build it based on the responses and the usage. And second thing, maybe you have more nuanced communication with your users who are demanding a particular feature, and then validate it from some other feature, other users. So you can maybe have your roadmap displayed to all your users, what is upcoming or what is planned, and let them say what they feel about those particular features, and see what ideas are getting traction from the users, and then build upon them accordingly. So again, these are not all the strategies always it will work, but some of the things that we have tried to do at our apps, so that we don't waste too much of time. Of course, I'm not saying that we haven't done that. Even we have
yeah.
been through the experiences that you just explained. There have been few features where we excitedly built, and actually that didn't resonate with our users as much as we
Absolutely.
would have loved.
And
Like,
and I think, as you mentioned, and one of the biggest advice I would give, as a person starting like more, I'm still new in this field, but I think finding yourself some sponsors within your customers, some really person you can rely on, you show them the first prototype and you ask them what do they think. From like this is really a game changing like value or feedback value. This can gives you more inputs, and especially try to find different profiles of customers, big customer, like
yeah,
young customer, a company, a corporate, more customer, some persons who are not corporate, etc., etc., and try to get the feedback on how do they see the prototype. Don't be shy to show your prototype. This is
right.
the first place. And secondly, try to find like a kind of feedback loop, try to fidelize the feedback loop. This is really, really like important, I think, for the health of a new feature, or the perspective of developing a new feature.
Correct. So, like, we talked about a good customer success thing that in one of the previous discussions we have. And that applies to here as well. So having those constant conversation with some of your, well-wisher customers is always very helpful. Means they can give you honest feedback, what will work, what will not work, which is always helpful. Uh, so being a product manager, you need to be close to what your customers think about, and then take those guesses accordingly. Now, talking about specific to Atlassian ecosystem in general, like we are building products for Atlassian products. So we are building add-ons to Atlassian products like Confluence and Jira. So how different it is, building products in Atlassian marketplace compared to building a standalone product, a SaaS product, which is not confined to the boundaries of Jira or Confluence.
Yeah, so as you said it, not being limited, not being limited, and not being framed. I think I did not develop previously like something on a standalone basis, but I suppose one of the challenges that we are currently having, you need to design something that works first with the current mother tool. So if you are designing something, I don't know, if you are designing something to create blueprints, and so your macros don't have to be very shiny colors, and so this
Yeah,
has to stick with the like
Atlassian,
design guidelines,
yeah,
which makes sense. So you don't have the freedom to have button everywhere and to inject things everywhere. So maybe one of the limits, and I think this applies also to everything not Atlassian related. If you are developing on a platform, more on apps, plugins, and add-ons, and so the challenge is to keep it simple, to work with the mother tool, and to make it to integrate as much as possible with the tool, with the native tool. So I think this is one of the most big challenge that you do have. And we have experienced it actually when we, especially the design when we do land some apps or features. that do have some design that goes out from the guidelines of Jira, generally customers don't go for it. Yeah, we have been noticing this a lot, so we try to simplify it as much as possible and to make it like more go with the Atlassian design. And this is why also we wanted to highlight the function within our team of the design, product design and the user experience like person. We have been hiring someone to do this because we felt that this is really important also in addition to the customer like support.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, design wise, it sometimes becomes very challenging because you have to stick to those guidelines that Atlassian have, and also even if you try to experiment, sometimes it doesn't go well
Yeah.
with users. And one thing that I have experienced is, of course, it's challenging to be confined to the boundary walls of Atlassian products while building product add-ons on those. But on day-to-day basis, let's say you are doing some small enhancements here and there. In that case, I find sometimes it is much easier for you because you can simply draw inspiration from Jira's own native features, which are similar to what you are building, and you can draw inspiration from them and simply implement them quickly. So you don't have to research too much as far as
Yeah.
is concerned. But again, that's a very valid only in case of some small features and enhancement that you do on day-to-day basis. But when you are trying out to build an altogether new product or a new feature or a new module within your product, then sometimes you have to have a lot of thinking. Means you can come up with a big idea and then you have to cut corners to fit it within the Jira and Confluence.
Totally. Totally.
Now we spoke about failures, like sometimes your ideas don't resonate. Any success stories that you would like to share in your journey so far with vectors, like it has really helped your customers or users to transform their journey or workflow that they have been doing prior to using your products?
Yeah, actually, like in our products, we do have two leading apps, and I think this is two different cases. Sorry. We do have an app called Content Formatting for Confluence, so it gives you a kind of tool with macros to format your content, and I think this is one of the game-changing also app to use Confluence. We have been noticing that people are really more on like Confluence is here to document and to add content, and people are sometimes do add a lot of content like text, media, and so on, and having something to structure your page. This has been I think one of the apps that have been like help like a lot of our users like to structure, to give more visibility, to make it beautifully like visible, and also I think it was also a game changing for people who wanted to have some user engage on adding Confluence, because one of the issues that we have been noticing, like sometimes people do not adhere to those platforms where you need to document. No, not everyone like want to document like everything. Some people are not like very comfortable on doing this, and sometimes when the page is beautifully like added, and when you do have templates, when you are guided on this and nicely guided, like many users like do adopt Confluence more better than like without having those kind of small like tools and small macros and things to make the content beautiful and easy to understand. So I think this is one, and it started for free. It was a free app, and then we found that it was really successful. It was simple. Also, what I have noticed, like it's a very simple app, simple macros, it's small functionalities. The Confluence user, and especially the Atlassian users, like except some particular cases that are very complex, they want to have very simple cases. It's easy to configure. You can understand it on the edit mode. You can then view it very like easily on the view mode, and it worked. It worked. Like this was one of the stories. So we inverted the app to be paid, and then it's one of our leading apps currently. So it started as a small project, and currently, and we are putting very, very big hope on this app, and we are reworking it a lot, like currently.
Great to know that. So now while we are on this topic of Confluence, how has been your experience transitioning from old Confluence editor to the new Confluence editor? Did it impact your apps?
Sorry, it has been interrupted. Can you just repeat the question? Sorry.
How has been your experience migrating from Confluence's old editor to the new editor? Did it impact?
Oof. Like I've been viewing very, very different versions of editors. I've been here since Confluence 4, so I have been viewing very, very different things. And honestly, we are feeling this like in the cloud of we are really checking this new editor experience. So like also for us, it has been disorienting a little bit because some features has been changing, the look and feel has been changing, and even the experience, like we have been like more habituated in edit the like when you are doing the edit experience in the old editor, you need to structure, to view, and then to preview, to make sure everything works well, to review, and so, but still the new experience is pretty good. Like honestly, those are like in each product you need to change and to get more, to make it more modern, as we say in France. So sometimes this has been needed as a change, but it's a bit confusing sometimes. But again, this is needed, and we need to adapt, and the product is changing, and we need to change too. And the way we change it has to change also. Has to change also. Yeah.
Yeah, for us, in fact, it has been very challenging. One of our apps, helps you publish your release notes to Confluence from Jira.
Okay.
And we have been using those Confluence APIs, and all of a sudden, Atlassian decided to migrate to new editor, and all of our pages were breaking, and all the things were breaking all together. So we had to rebuild the entire functionality. Last 6 months, we have been trying to regain our feature back, but yeah, now it's stabilized a bit, but it has been challenging thing.
Yeah, but you know but still one of the biggest problem, like talking about problems concerning Confluence, one of the biggest problem had been like managing the nested macros and the embedded macros, and this has been like really, we have been facing very angry customers. Why I can't embed like macros? And talking about that formatting app, it's like mainly based on embedding macros. So you do have a group, and then within it you have small macros, and we needed that group to structure everything, to have tabs, to have expander books, and so. And then one day, just Atlassian decided to not support the nested macros. We needed to rebuild everything from scratch. This is one of the most stressful experience I have been having within the product, because you need to go fast because people are losing their content. People are doing a lot of pressure when they are migrating, especially with the new announcement of Atlassian, and you needed to do it very good and to have it performant and working. So it has been really a stressful journey, like this nested and legacy mode, and so yeah, this is a very stressful thing.
Absolutely. So, talking about changes from Atlassian. So last few months, Atlassian has been promoting the arrival of Atlassian Intelligence, which is basically a deep integration of AI, generative AI within Atlassian products. So how do you see this new wave of Gen AI being integrated into products, especially in Atlassian ecosystem? And do you see that impacts your products as well, and any challenges that you see, and how you're planning to mitigate those challenges?
Yeah, sure. I think like the world is changing with this, with the IE. So probably Atlassian needed to follow the flow, and I think it gives a lot of things, like it make Confluence like one of the stressful thing, or maybe one of the things that's hard to learn with Confluence is some kind of like you do document, because our expertise is in Confluence. When you are adding content, sometimes it can be really repeatable, if I'm not sure if the word is correct. So you need to repeat. Some tasks are really repeated. It can be long. Summarizing the thing, you are dealing with a lot of content, so sometimes summarizing the thing is not easy. You need to read a lot of pages and to summarize. And honestly, the IE magic here is really helpful. I think it gives a new dimension to Confluence on making it like the users will be more productive. It gives you a productive like dimension, and then to make the thing easier and less repetitive, like to automate things, to give you the summaries, to propose labels, to propose categories, to make the content more categorized, like you are able to navigate your content easily. And so the IE will be really life-changing here, I think, for the experience within Confluence. And we need to adapt. Like this is one of the new challenge for our side. Like again, we have the glossary app, which is also one of our leading like apps. So Atlassian just released a kind of similar feature, like when you can highlight the term and get the definition. And here we are sitting recently on a table. So how can we adjust our product to not kill it totally, and to try to match with that trend, try to enhance it, to complete it, to work on it, to make our product better, like to make the new functionalities based on this. So it gives us new challenges. Like I have to say, it's not easy because Atlassian is moving fast. This is not the same rhythm than the app editors, like especially the small one. But again, it makes this thing like more challenging, I have to say. So, but still for me, this is one of, we have been needing this, and maybe the IE is giving the ability to make things like better when you are documenting and reading and exploring your content in Confluence particularly.
Yeah, definitely. Means that's a challenge that, whether you are within Atlassian or outside Atlassian standalone products, the OpenAI has brought the revolution, and you have to follow the trend. Otherwise, your competitors are going to do that before you. So
absolutely,
any product manager today has to look into this trend, and this is a mega trend. It's not just a small thing that is only going to stay there for a couple of years, but it's a mega trend, and that's the future, I think. So anyone who's for like us who are working in the productivity space, basically, AI is going to be taking over, and you have to address the trend.
absolutely.
So I think, Melek, we had a fantastic conversation so far. I would wish we can go on for a longer period, but we generally stick to around 20-25 minutes mark. So we are towards the end of the session. What would you suggest? Like, what are some of the resources or the mentors that you follow online, which helped you to build your product knowledge or product management knowledge about the product management in general?
Yeah, being like honestly being new on this, like I think, and my main focus has been on Atlassian. I think one of the persons to follow on the Atlassian and that do gives you many ideas and share a lot of content about product is Sherif Mansour. Like I really encourage people like to follow this guy, especially his talks in his sessions. He's like he have been here within the Atlassian like history, so we have been seeing the product evolve, and currently he's working on the IE, so you can understand the trends, and he's working a lot of those trends, and it's really an interesting person like to follow and to get the content. And I also encourage people like to check on the blog post within Atlassian. So also if you want to stick with some content with Atlassian related, and not especially Atlassian related, also some people like they do share about processes, product management, how you organize, how you roadmap, because to Atlassian to have products on this. So they gives you the best practice. It's short, it's clean, it's well documented with graphs. And so for some people who are starting, if you want to start, I really encourage people to go there, I think. And for my case, this is like honestly what I'm doing. I'm not searching on following very big things and very long things. Like I have like short time to explore, so I need to go straight and to get the information like quickly from resources to read when I am at home or so. Voila.
Great. Thank you so much for the recommendation. Definitely, I will also start following these things. So that's it. I think we are at the end of the session. This has been a great conversation, very quick, but a lot of insights I'm sure listeners would be getting from this conversation. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I really believe we can have another couple of sessions similar to this to deep dive more into this product management in general or any specific topic in future.
For sure. I'm really pleased to do this. And I hope it will help some people who are who are starting all this as I'm doing. And I'm really, really happy to share all what I know about this topic. And so thanks a lot. And thanks for you like for giving us this opportunity to speak about this. Thanks a lot.
It's our pleasure. So, all right then. Thanks a lot, and thank you everyone who are listening to this session. Thanks for joining us today, and do follow Amoeboids on LinkedIn or YouTube for more such content. And you can also check Vector's LinkedIn profile, Melek's LinkedIn profile for about the product that she's building, and in the Atlassian ecosystem. So, all right. So, see you in the next episode. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Thanks.